Before the fans decide to reset zero back to nothing, thumbs up if you get that. Let's talk about a way to save the HasLab Rancor project before it's too late, because the numbers are declining. They're still declining every time I hit the refresh button every hour. It's like 4 in the morning and my brain is on the fritz, and I really am looking forward to seeing Ghostbusters in a few hours, so I need to get some rest. But I can't get this off my mind until I talk about it. So let's go ahead and do it. So, as you are aware of, and that's a bad way to put it because that's the most cliche way to say it. Anyway, the Fan First Friday was yesterday. It was the Star Wars The Black Series HasLab project for the Rancor. It was an update. We got to see a color prototype. We got to see the articulation it has to offer. It looks great. Sculpting looks nice. It's a beautiful work of art with that paint job, and I can only hope that the Rancor will look exactly like that in this final release, unlike Unicron's Maw. I can't even say Unicron because I'm so tired. But anyway, joking aside, that's not what this is all about. That's not what people are complaining about. It's about the variety that this thing has to offer in this tier list, which is crap. It's just god awful. Let's do this. Let's talk about their tier lists that they've decided on, which they have the final say, of course. But tier number 1 was the Gamorrean Guard. It's a re-release of a figure we've already had multiple times in the Black Series under a vintage card back. Tier number 2 doesn't even deserve to exist. It's a bunch of bones that can go with the cardboard backdrop diorama piece of the pit that the Rancor lived in and fought Luke Skywalker off in. Right? Yeah, sure. I don't like that one, honestly. Tier number 3 and 4 were unveiled on Fan First Friday, and this is what really drove the nail in the coffin, the final nail. Basically, Tier 3 is Crumb, that little creature in Jabba's palace that was with Jabba from the very beginning. I don't see why he should be in this because he had nothing to contribute to with the Rancor. But he's there. And tier number 4 is Luke Skywalker. But of course, Luke Skywalker, now to their credit, it is a nice looking Luke Skywalker figure, even though they say it's the best likeness to Mark Hamill they've done to this date. I have to disagree with that, but that's a topic for another time. It is a new tooled figure. It is newly tooled. It has nothing to do with any of the figures released before. It is not a repaint. It is not a retool. It is a completely new figure with butterfly joints for better posability because he's a Jedi Knight and he needs to wield his lightsaber in many ways possible against Darth Vader. It only makes sense that he should be in this tier list. But he's in the wrong spot, in my opinion. And many people have already said, just because Luke Skywalker is tier number 4, they're not going to back this Rancor just for Luke. They're not going to be invested enough to go all the way for Luke. It's not going to happen. So I can help you here if you'll listen. Some of you may agree with this list. Some of you may disagree with it. But let's get to it so I can get to bed. So anyway, tier number 1 needs to be that Luke Skywalker. It's Luke Skywalker. It will sell well, especially if it's the very first tier. People are going to want that figure, and they will go all out to get that figure. You'll have many backers for the Rancor and afterwards. So tier number 2, the Gamorrean Guard. The Gamorrean Guard needs to be the second tier as a bit of a cooldown, but it still needs to be released because it has every reason to. It was a part of the Rancor. It was the snack of the Rancor. A light snack at that. During the battle with Luke Skywalker. It makes sense to have the Gamorrean Guard as a part of this tier list for the Rancor. Now, why do I say it's not going to affect the tier list at all? Because what comes next is the one that everybody was talking about, chatting about during the whole unveiling here, and we're disagreeing with their tier list and needs to be a part of the tier list here. The third one, the reason why we're not going to see it at retail is because of controversy with Disney and slavery. Let's get to it. Ula, the dancing slave girl. From the very beginning of Return of the Jedi, the very first one that interacts with the Rancor, becomes its first meal. She needs to be in it. You know? Really? This is your only chance to really make this figure a part of the Black Series. The Black Series needs this to complete it. Well, to hopefully complete it one day, but this is a figure that we'll never see at retail because of slavery, and Disney doesn't like slavery. They don't like violence, even though Star Wars is all about violence. So, I don't know. That cancels that out, I guess. But, yeah, this is your only chance. And this is not a retail release item here. This is an exclusive to your site alone. This is a Kickstarter. You have every right to make this. Because not a lot of people are going to be able to buy it. So it really shouldn't hurt you anyway. And everybody is clamoring for Ula, and we know for sure we're never going to see her in stores. This is your chance. This is what we want. This will sell you all the way for sure if she makes it to tier 3. The final tier, which I feel like could be a little better than Ula, which is why it's not going to affect at all reaching the very end to tier 4. Okay, we're going to make it with this one for sure, because this figure is also not part of the Black Series just yet, and I don't know when we'll ever see it in the Black Series, if not now for the Rancor set. The Rancor Keeper. I mean, obviously you're selling us the Rancor. Now's the time to release the Rancor Keeper with the Rancor. Now, I know the character has got a different name, a real name that I can't think of at the moment because, like I said, my brain is dying on me because it needs some sleep. It needs some time to shut off. So, yeah, the Rancor Keeper is what I'll call him, like everybody else. So, there you have my tier list. And every single one of them had some kind of interaction or conflict with the Rancor in Return of the Jedi. Tier 1, Luke Skywalker. Tier 2, the Gamorrean Guard. Tier 3, Ula. Ula make moolah. Shouldn't be the other way around. It shouldn't be no Ula, no moolah, like everyone else was saying in the chat. And tier 4, finally, the Rancor Keeper. There you have it. That's how you save it. I promise you, those who backed out, if you make this decision here, Hasbro, if you turn around, make this decision, and announce that you are going to do Ula and I was about to say the Gamorrean Guard, but yeah, he's already in the tier. But if you can make Ula and the Rancor Keeper as the last 2 tiers, I promise you, they'll come back. They will come back. It's how you go about presenting it, though. You can talk about it, sure, or you could slap some photos up as placeholders, because I know for certain you don't have any 3D models of these 2 characters in figure form just yet. So in the meantime, just Google some images and slap it on your site and say, these are the new tiers right here. This is how we're going to reconstruct it. Tier 1, Luke Skywalker. Tier 2, Gamorrean Guard. Tier 3, Ula. Finally. And at last, Tier 4, the Rancor Guard, because it only makes sense to come with the Rancor. Did I say Rancor Guard? I mean the Rancor Keeper. I really need some sleep. But there you have it, guys. That's my tier list. Some of you are going to agree. Some of you are going to disagree. I'd like to hear your disagreement. I'd like to know why. Do you have something better in mind? By all means. That's what makes us special here. That's why we're different. The world goes around that way. If you have something else in mind, I'd like to hear it down below in the comment section of this video. By all means, have at it. Until then, this is Redis Power signing off. Hopefully this will get to somebody at Hasbro. They'll listen to this and, do something about it, because there's still time. Less than 17 days remains on this project. It's not too late unless you want to pussy out and just extend the Rancor as far as you can until it gets fully backed. But that's cheating. Really, that's just cheating. That's not right. That's playing dirty. If you really want this to sell on time, if you really want this to get backed in time by the deadline, this is our requirements. This is what we want. Where the fans come first. Hasbro Pulse. Listen to the fans here. I speak for them. They can speak for themselves, but I'm speaking for everybody here who's not willing to talk. This is what we want. We're clamoring for it. Give it to us. Screw your profit here. You can make sacrifice because you're a multi-billion-dollar toy company. Makes lots of money every year. You can splooge a little bit. It doesn't hurt to give us what we want for once without repercussions. You might have to talk to Disney about one of them down the road, but I'm sure you can work out some kind of arrangement. Until then, this is Red's Power signing off, saying thanks for watching and good night. I'm hitting the hay now.